Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. Thank you for taking the time. So as you can see, everything looks a little bit different. I downloaded Streamlabs, trying something new. Something that this is what I've always wanted to do is actually, screen share so that I can talk about what I'm seeing and kind of go over in a little bit better detail and explain what it is that I'm watching. So this one, as you can see here, this is an IGN first. This is some gameplay trailer, it's a gameplay trailer for Redfall. And the whole IGN first thing, just to start this off, is, they have these deals that they work out with development studios to be exactly what it says, to be the first to release whatever. And it used to be a month-long thing. I don't know if they still do it. I don't really follow IGN anymore, so I wouldn't know. But I just know I remember this when it was first brought into play, that it was like 1 month of anything, any news, like developer interviews, behind the scenes, voice actors, anything like that, and gameplay trailers like this. IGN had the deal that they would be the first to put everything out. So whatever, that's it's marketing, no big deal there. I don't have a problem with that. But I want to say this because this came out a couple days ago, and one of the things that I noticed right away when I watched the trailer, and I will get into it, we're going to play the whole thing, but one of the things that I noticed was just how poorly the game was played. And I mean, actually, like, who was on the sticks controlling this player. It looked bad. It looked like a total rookie, like someone who didn't know what they were doing. So, and that sparked a big question, and there's been a lot of debating. I've read a lot of comments and stuff where everyone's trashing IGN for having someone on the sticks who doesn't know what they're doing, having a non-gamer play this game. Now, I'm not going to defend IGN. Their media's trash. I think IGN's been shit for a long time. I will say that if they had someone playing this game, if this is from them, or if this, because I'm assuming that this was an IGN editor or employee who was playing this game, but it may be possible that it was actually Bethesda sent them this clip. I don't know for sure, but let's just assume for a second that it is IGN who played this, captured this, and then they put it up on their website. It's been a belief, and I agree with this belief, that IGN and other outlets, media outlets, they're not really gamers. They're just journalists or wannabe journalists, or bloggers, or whatever the hell you want to say. They're writers, and they're playing, or they're covering a source of medium that they don't actually take part in, And what I mean like this, like, it's like someone who's an opinion writer who has to write for the sports page. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think it's smart, and I think it looks bad on IGN's part. You should have someone who is actually playing this game, who knows how to play video games, has experience, and wants to play the game. This to me looks, immediately I was like, who is playing this game? This looks bad. And it's getting hammered for that. And we'll get into some more about, is this on Bethesda and Microsoft, or is this on IGN? Right now, I can tell you that the Xbox fans are 100%, and this is an IGN problem. IGN messed this up. They're sabotaging this game. They're turn my mic down a little bit. They're out to get Microsoft, and and Microsoft, they're just trying to make them look bad, and there's some agenda behind it. Just chill with that shit, dude. That's not what's going on. Okay, I don't think that's going on at all. I do think that whoever's playing this game is not a gamer, for sure, but I don't think this is some sort of corporate sabotage or some media sabotage. It just, people really got into the weeds in that, in the comment sections and in videos and stuff. It was just like, oh, look what IGN is doing. If this was a Sony game, they would have someone who actually plays the game, and this is just, they're trying to make Microsoft look bad. And it's like, dude, there's you take that aside. There's plenty of things we're gonna get into it that make this video look bad. And it's not just the person who's playing the game, or the lack of gamer acumen for the person who was playing this game. But I'm gonna go ahead and click play here. We're gonna get into some of this, and I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna start playing, and I'll kind of, I was thinking about just playing the whole thing through and then going back. It's a 3-minute video, so let's just go ahead and do that. We'll run through it. I'll do a little bit of talking, whatever, but then I want to go back because there are specific things that I want to point out that I think are red flags for this game. So without further ado. All right, so as you can see, it's an FPS game. We got vampires. You have teammates. This is a multiplayer game. I guess you can play this in single player mode. But as you can see, it's FPS. This specific gameplay is this character's called a rook, or an enemy type is called a rook, and I believe that this heavier, beefier mini boss will spawn in after you kill a certain amount of vampires within the world. That's the general understanding that I have. So we're just going to roll with that. So obviously, he's going to be a little bit more bullet spongy. He's going to have more power. But right now, like I already said, you can see like this person who's playing, none of this looked right to me. This just didn't look good. Like the way this person's playing this game, why are they running away from the boss? Where are they going right now? There's nothing on screen for them to shoot. If this is a shooter, they're running away. This lockpicking mechanism is, okay, whatever. Not that big of a deal, but... and now look, he's getting chased, and then... just weird, like, they couldn't get out the door. You know what, I don't want to criticize too hard. Maybe they were a little panicky, but, like, what was that right there? Why did they throw that? What is it? What does it do? Threw it in the middle of nowhere. Now there's no one behind them. Yeah, and there's a lot of cuts, too. There's a lot of interesting just cuts, like edits like that they seem suspect to me. And you see, there he is again. The rook is back. You got the little quippy lines, which I don't mind. Thought it was kind of cool, and Back for Blood. Shooting a sniper rifle with no scope, and then another weird cut right there. Right there, the guns just... The guns, I don't have it cranked up so that I can hear myself, but also so you can hear what I'm saying, but the guns just sound like pea shooters. They sound like BB guns. He's just sitting over there, which is weird, like right there. What is he doing? Is he getting more health? But then you come back and you see him again, and look, his health bar's down, so I don't know, maybe he was reviving himself or doing something. And now he's down, so now we go into this little like animation for a melee takedown. See a rook destroyed, and then you scour the body. Looks very Destiny to me. And you can see the low it out a little bit. Like I said, we'll look at this a little more in detail. All right, so that's the gameplay. So let's start this over. Okay. So first thing I want to say that I point out, like, just look at this right here. I'm looking at this, and I understand that this is compressed. This is not true. Like, this isn't exactly what the game looks like. It's going to look a little bit cleaner, a little bit better. When you're dealing with the internet and everything, files get compressed or whatever, the video isn't going to be its true self. Having said that, this right here, like this looks bad to me. Like, this just looks bad. Everything about this doesn't look crisp and clean. It's very flat. Like, there's just no 3D to it. The shadow is just really generic shadow, and it's just it looks like a shadow is all the way around everything, and it's the same exact shadow. It's not. There's no real light source in any sort of real shadow to me. You look over here. You got I see Focus Play 01 and 02. I've heard that this is AI. These are not real people playing it. It's possible. But you can see there, it looks like a level. So they're level 12 and level 11. And you got your left bumper, right bumper. So these are abilities. Your health, you press down on the D-pad. This looks like a flashlight. You press right on the D-pad. And then you have what appears to be a super, which is really common. I think Destiny was the first game to do this. I could be wrong, but it's the first game that I can think of that had the the L1, R1, or the LB, RB buttons pressed together, and you do some sort of spectacular ability, which is cool. Again, they're not doing anything new. Everything looks pretty similar. But I'll say this: just watching the gameplay, I was getting Anthem vibes from this shit. I was getting really just like cool down, throw your ability, cool down, throw your next ability, and then run around and then throw it again. But yeah, let's go ahead and move forward on this. Okay, so we see right there. So he spawns, and then he makes a run in. Now I'll want to say, like, these question marks kind of threw me when I was first watching this. Typically in a game, if you don't know, that usually means that the enemy is searching for you, or they don't know what they're searching for something, or they've been alerted to something. But it was really weird that he still has those, and then it switches to this right here, which usually means they've acquired a target and now they're coming after. So it's kind of weird that he's right there in front of the player. You can see this other focus player here, and he was in confused mode, but whatever. I don't know. I think it's poor AI is what it looks like to me. But you can see right here, if you go forward, boom, he throws something. He throws this ability, and I didn't like the way he turned around. It was really cheesy. But just looking at this right here, just looking at this frame, it just doesn't look good to me. Like, okay, and these are nitpicks, okay? And I understand people are going to say, dude, you're just picking on this game. Listen, it's the shit that I see. I have to point it out because these are the things that I notice. I love, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my opinion on this is like I'm too harsh on graphics, but I love like pretty looking games. I love graphical powerhouses. It's really cool, and the tech is out there. I've seen great games, so it's not like it can't be done. But if you just look just a quick second, you see this is a light source right here. So he throws this, whatever this ability is, he threw it out. Looks like it was maybe the LB. I think it's what this is, the left bumper. Okay, so he hits this, and you can see it emits light, right? So there's a light coming in on the door. There's light coming in on the ground. But then you can see over here, like you can see these objects are behind this door, okay? And this light source is hitting them as though it's like the door isn't there. And maybe you can say, oh, it's coming from the crack of the door, but to me, that's not what I saw. That's not what it looks like to me. And then graphically, everything just looks really muddy and just gray. Like there's just no real, like I don't really see good shadow quality and light quality. All right, so let's move ahead. And then right there, he throws out this big ability, right? So that's the super, that's the special ability here. You can see it's the LB and RB were pressed together. Okay, one of the things that I noticed right away is that he didn't even flinch at that shit. Like he didn't even notice it. So let's back up for a second. You can see right here, you're going into the animation. He's coming towards, boom. And look, it didn't do anything to him. Now, the way it looks, and if you know anything about vampire lore, you assume that that's sort of, that's some sort of UV projector or bomb, like UV rays. And you would think, just again, you watch any vampire movie, and I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so I'm talking about like Once Bitten, My Best Friend is a Vampire, Fright Night, Lost Boys. Those are the movies that I've grew up watching, and there are some common rules, and light burns vampires, Underworld, it's like UV kills vampires, at least burns them or wounds them really bad. Blade, and he doesn't even react. That was just it. Again, could be a nitpick, but it's just something that bothered me. It was like there was no reaction to the light source. And again, maybe he's super powerful, but it didn't even affect him in any way. So thought that was kind of cheesy. But then it's like you go a little bit further, and then the cut that was right there. That's the thing that really was noticeable to me was you go into this motion, you throw down this super, and then no reaction. He swipes at you or it. You back up right there. It looked like he got stuck. I'm not saying that's why, but just to me, if you look at that frame right there, he just runs in place and then he gets stuck. And then the camera cuts, or I'm sorry, the video cuts, and boom, right there. Now he teleports to you. I think this is poor animation, in my opinion. When he goes back, you can see right there, and then he just disappears. Like he does like a little twirly twirl, and then he blinks out. And then boom, he reappears. To me, it does it. I just thought it was generic. That's just a little nitpick, but just didn't look good. Once again, you know, you're back in the UV light. So obviously this ability is, you know, it's meant to be long lasting or provide you some sort of protection. It's not doing anything to him. It's not doing anything. You know, he's running in place right there. He swipes, nothing happens. Okay, right there. So that ability, whatever that was, that obviously hurt him. Okay, that caused some sort of pain. I think either that or it's him charging up. Like I couldn't really tell. That was another thing. I wasn't really sure because there was no real reactions from the enemies on the abilities and even the shooting. So I was it was like, what's going on? Like, is this hurting him? Is it not hurting him? Is he invincible to this or some sort of, does he have some sort of ability that's preventing it? And that's why he's just ignoring everything that you're throwing at him. You know, one other thing too is that I want to go back. If you see the right here, the shooting, to me, the shooting, like, it just looks bad. Okay, so this is one that this is one that stood out to me. This really annoyed me. Okay, so you back up here. All right. So let's do this. We're gonna pause. Whoops. Let's open this back up full screen. Okay, so again, you can call it a nitpick if you want, but I see this and it's like, you look at this right here. Look at this fire. All right, it doesn't look good to me. First of all, but you know, there is this bright light source right here. Okay, this is the light source of this entire flame, this entire little fire. This is the only light source that I can see. You can see here it lights up the inside of the pillars, the column right here, or whatever you want to call it. And then you can see the ground obviously is bright. And then over here, you see that this column right here, that this support beam is blocking out light. Okay, so it's almost as if this fire here doesn't create any sort of light at all. There's no source of light from that. And I noticed it right away because it caught me, because it was like, wow, that looks really bright right there and that's really dark right there. What the hell's going on? And you can see right here, look, you can see whatever this is, there's this one little flame and it's bright, like it's a lantern, and it's, you know, it's obviously emitting light here and here. And again, it's just, you know, you can say it's a nitpick, but the shadow is shit. Like, look, so this pillar, if this is so bright that it's causing this sort of shadow this direction, where's the shadow this direction? Where is this? Where's the some sort of casting of light? And this is such a bright source, you don't even see it over here on the vehicle over here. You don't see it on the ground. It's literally like this one little circle of light, and it only beams off certain things. And it's really obvious to me. And let me see if I can get it just right. Yeah. So just look, like it's complete darkness right here. And it's weird. There's a fire. The fire over here is bigger than this, but this right here is like a flare. But the fire that's like, looks like it's, you know, 3 feet tall versus this 1 foot flame, this 3 foot tall by, you know, 5 feet flame is not, it's not creating any sort of light whatsoever. It just, that to me, that doesn't look good to me. It just looks, and something like, I saw something like this when I was watching the Halo trailer. And again, I wish I was doing this sort of video sharing. I wish I had figured it out at that time. But there was one part of that trailer where you see Master Chief and he's standing next to I think it's the Warthog, and you see light coming. He's like looking in, like from the sun, like the sun's in his face, and we're behind him. And the right rear wheel of that vehicle didn't cast a shadow, and it looked like it was floating on the ground because of it. It looked like there was nothing there, and it just stood out to me right away. And this right away stood out to me. I was like, that looks like trash. All right, so anyways, we're gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about this gameplay now. So, like I said, the graphics themselves don't look good, but what's going on here, you just don't know. This is a lot of what people are complaining about, and I think rightfully so. I will say this: Xbox fans have a right to be upset if this is what IGN put out at their discretion. I don't think it was their discretion, though. I think Microsoft saw this and knew this was coming out, so they got egg on their face too. But just when you watch this gameplay, it's like, where are you going? Right there, you see there's an enemy up here. You see this player shooting at this enemy. You see the question mark, so it's confused. I guess it doesn't know where the bullets are coming from. And then you look at this right here and look at this right here. See this? This is exactly what I saw in the Halo trailer. Okay. Look at this contact right here. So this is the tire right here. I'm looking right here. Okay. There's the tire touching the ground and you see light underneath of it. So it makes that tire look as though it's floating off of the ground. It's bad lighting. It just looks bad. And it has the, like, it doesn't really emit the light that you would naturally see. To me, it just doesn't. It looks bad to me. But, you know, looking at this, when you get a little bit closer, like, look at this, like the vehicle, like it just looks plastic. It's just, there's no life to it. And then you see there's like an enemy over here. You see the question mark. And it's so funny. Like, that's how you know what your enemies are. You just look for question marks. Like, where's the Riddler? You know, you look here and, you know, this, I guess this looks okay, I guess. But to me, everything just looks muddy and it looks flat. Okay, right here, this one was the big one to me. This looks like a toy. This looks like a little Tonka truck. It looks like shit. It just looks so generic and so boring. It just doesn't look good to me. It's just like, there's no like texture to these panels really. Everything just looks minimalistic, just like minimalist. Like, there's just nothing going on. There's like, you can see, like, they almost wanted to put a shadow here, but it's not really there. So there's just a shadow on the back of the mirror here, but it's barely casting anything over there. Yeah, it just looks bad. Like, this just looks really bad to me. It just doesn't look good. There's nothing about this that screams, you know, this is going to, you know, heat up your Xbox Series X. Like, this is going to be the game that pushes it. Let's see. Let's go a little bit further here. Okay. Yeah, right there. Like, the machine gun that they're shooting, or the rifle that they're shooting, it has no kick to it. It just seems really lame. And then right there, why did you turn away? So they're shooting. They take the health bar all the way down to nothing. Look at the health bar. It's all the way down to nothing, and then they turn away and run away. And you can see the little skull here, the skull and crossbones, indicating that there's an enemy over there. Nothing, exactly right. Hold on, let's back up. Look at this. Yeah, see, like, I don't know, it just, the lighting is just trash. It just doesn't look good. Like, this just looks very boring to me. But again, it's like, where you got your focus player over here. I'm assuming these are enemies over here. And is anybody going to take them out? Like, we saw one of these players engaging with the guy up here. He's still there. They didn't do anything. What the hell? Like, well, that's kind of what makes me believe that that's AI. And the lightning bolts just look boring. They don't even look real. Like, I mean, and I say real, I mean, okay, here we go again. So now look at this. The same. So when we were on this side over here, this light source was over here, and it was beaming this bright light on this beam right here, and it was completely just, it looked like there was the sun on that thing. This was all lit up. Now this light source is over here. Okay, maybe the fire moved. I doubt it. Just based on the way this is looking. And they go into this lock picking, and there was some gripes about this, like, oh, you're lock picking in the middle of a gunfight. All right, so there he is. He's back. You throw out another one of your things, your UV, like stick mines or whatever. It looks like a trip mine from Destiny. But, you know, homeboy's coming in, and once again, you can see here that the light source is here, and you can see that it actually shows light on these things right here. But look at this. There's no shadow being cast. This ray casts no shadow on the wall here. There's nothing. Like, this thing is just floating to me. It looks like it's floating. And then you can see, you know, it does put some light on him. And, you know, we see this a lot where there's like clipping, where clothes will clip through a door or a seat. I don't really complain too much about that. That goes on in some of the best games out there. So it's like, whatever. But you can see there's like light on this right here. Obviously the door would stop any light over here. There should be a black dark shadow right here, a rectangle shadow emitting on, or laying on this wall here from this door. Your light source is on this side of the door. This should be all dark. There should be a nice bright light somewhere starting over here, but it doesn't. And he comes in, he rushes you. And look, you can still see right here. Look, see the light source is over here. It's lighting up right here. It's lighting this up. It's lighting all of this up right here. Why? That should not be there. And you know, just graphically, this just looks, everything just looks like a static painting. It doesn't look lived in or real. It just looked like someone just dressed it up, dressed everything up, and they didn't throw any sort of real effects into it whatsoever. And he runs through the door and he goes to leave. And then you run back. They run back out here, and there's enemy right here. You got two players. These skulls should indicate that they're dead. So you have two down players. So they're running. This person's running back out to go get them. Oh, nope, not going to do that. Okay, that makes sense, right? Look at the health. I believe this is the health bar here. So 364 is the HP that he has or she, and then you're down to 57 of that 364. So now boom, boom, boom. He's getting some. What was that? What is going on here? What was that? I'd be so curious what this is because he pressed LB and tossed this sucker over the thing. What was that? You would assume that it's some sort of offensive power, and it would push. You would want to use that to crowd control so you can get to your downed teammates and revive them, or it's some sort of reviving. It's not unlike games like this to have like some sort of mechanism or something you can throw out, and it sort of emits like a little healing area where you can, or it's an automated revive. You know, it's just whatever, but just just random. It's almost like they hit the button by accident, and then they take off running, and then they stop, and then they turn around, and it's like, where's homeboy at? When we left just a second ago over here, you come out of here, right? He comes through. Snap equip, take off running, see a couple enemies. Where did the rook go? Like you would think that the good AI, he'd be like, oh, I'm all over you, I'm chasing you down. Turn around, he's gone. Like he's nowhere to be found. All right, so then the player runs back, does a little slippy slide, and then cut. So I don't know why would they cut that. They went over there to revive your players because now they're both up. They both got a little bit of health here. Where's the rook? Where's the enemies that are over here? I mean, I'm sorry, but it just looks bad. All right, so you're looking at this, and the art style. A lot of people are falling back on this. Oh, it's the art style. You can't criticize it. Bullshit. You can criticize physics. You can criticize lighting. You can criticize sound. You can criticize a lot of things. But any art style. I mean, it could be pixel art, but if it doesn't adhere to rules of just lighting effects, then it's broken. Like that's a broken piece. It's missing. Hold on, let's back up for a quick second. So you see here, yeah. So they're over here now. They're still over there, and this person's running away. You have no idea where this player's gone. They just take off. So they're booking it, heading back over here. There's the rook. Where was homeboy? Where has he been? He's been chilling somewhere. Where did he go? And it raises questions, right? Like why would you edit it like this? Why would you cut it like this? And so now he's winding up for a big swing of Rooski, and then turn away, and then you throw something. Now obviously, like I said, that looks like some sort of offensive weapon, right? Yeah, it looks like some sort of offensive weapon. You throw like a mine of some sort, and you turn around, you come back, and so now the player's over here, other players over here. There's your mine. Why did you throw that there? I don't know. Again, there are pieces of information that are missing because I don't know what that does. I don't know what that device does or what its actual purpose is. But it just seems a little random. They threw one into the ether over a wall at no one. We know no one was back there, not even enemies. Now we throw one over here. It just, kind of lends to the credence that this person doesn't know what the hell they're doing. And you throw this another little light thing, and the guns just do not have any push. This one cracked me up. Look at this. So so you run over there with your sniper. You pull out your sniper rifle, and you quick scope. You pop a little shot there, and then look at this. Boom! Pull out that sniper rifle. Yeah. That's the rule with sniper rifles. You want to get as close as possible. That's the only way you guarantee a kill shot. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really notice the character here. Looks like, maybe you can like do some cosmetics. She has a little backpack or whatever. The guns, the this stuff, you know, you look at the weapons up close, it just, they're okay. You know, it doesn't look like, I won't say it's like, oh my God, this looks like total shit. It just doesn't look like it's a serious contender for like, for its graphical prowess. It doesn't really have the sheen and the shine and the quality. It just doesn't. It just looks very basic. And then you quick scope in. Where'd this guy come from? I didn't even see this one. But you quick scope in, and you check out this dude. He's yoked. Look at him. You got the little baby heads for shoulders, 6-pack. Yeah, badass. But again, it's what does this? What is he doing? Like, what? I mean, the player. Like, why is the player quick scoping in to a character that, or to your enemy who's like 2 feet from you, and then they cut, and it's just so odd. That's such a weird cut. It just, to me, it's weird to me. Why would you cut it right there? You got your enemies, or another enemy there. It looks like you had another player who goes down. So Rook took out a player, and it's just weird, right? Because you go from, okay, so he does some sort of lunge and swipe. Okay, I see. The gun just sounds like trash. The person is missing like crazy. They're shooting at don't know what. Okay, so he threw that near the player, right? He threw this device near the player. Again, I would be curious as to what it is. You can't really tell by the little icon. You can't really, usually it'll show like a heart, or like this, how it has like the little medical sign. If it's some sort of health dispersal or a reviving tool. So I mean, I'm assuming it's some sort of offensive weapon. Maybe you would throw that there to sort of ward off enemies if they got too close. But once again, we see it not doing anything, so we don't know what it does, right? And they go over, they revive. Okay, look at this. So you take a look. Okay. So you look at this right here. So they're reviving. Okay. What is this guy doing right here? Like, what is this? Is an enemy. This isn't another player or one of your focus plays. This this enemy is just chilling. Unless I'm wrong. Hold on, let me roll it. No, that's an enemy. So this is an enemy. Homeboy was just standing there staring, and then you saw the question marks again, which I'm going to just use the common knowledge that I have of games that use icons to indicate what the AI or the enemies are thinking, or what their what their focus is on. Are you sneaking past them, and then they, you know, sometimes with stealth games you'll sneak around and then you throw a rock or you throw a bottle, and then there'll be some sort of icon that'll pop over their head to indicate to you that you got their attention. And now they're in search mode. They'll start wandering around and trying to find where you are. This dude was just standing there in the middle of a gunfight, and he's standing there just mannequin style. Look at this. So boom, go over here. Look at this. So he actually had his gun out. He actually had his gun out. Look at, so the gun is out. This thing has his gun out, looking over here. You got Rook over here doing I don't know what. He's just chilling out, looking like by the fire. But you look here, this enemy here is question marks. Like, what's going on? I don't know where I'm at. What day is it? He's got his gun out, and then go a little bit further. Boom, he stops. He stops. Then he pulls it back out. And then it's question mark, question mark. And it's almost like he's lost. And then boom, you see this right here. This comes up just like this, just a second ago. Look at Rook. He's confused. This guy's now alerted. Now he knows. And now Rook is alerted. It just doesn't look good. And once again, you know, you see this enemy, you bring it all the way down, and then you just run away. And I get it. He's in the middle of a reload. But yeah, yeah. And the other thing too was the shooting. The guns themselves just look like pea shooters. They have no kick to them. You know, that's such a integral part to an FPS. You have to have guns that feel good to shoot, to use. Weapons in general, whether it's a fictional, you know, lightning gun, or some sort of arc weapon, or some sort of void weapon, anything, you know, regular old, you know, 5.56s, whatever it is, it needs to have some sort of kick, some sort of feeling to it. But as I'm watching this, if you just look at the gun, you don't really even pay attention to the sound. The gun barely moves. There's just nothing to it. And furthermore, the enemies do not react to anything. I haven't seen, there's no real reaction to anything that the focus player and the player that you're, the two focus players and the player from your POV or our POV, there's nothing going on here. The gun is just so boring. There's nothing happening. Okay, boom. Now he's dead. And then come up, do the melee kill, the finisher. Focus player is down again over here. Yeah. So I don't know what happened over here. Now there's some fire or whatever, but I just think the lighting is just so poor. It's so poor, and then just the guns themselves, they just look run of the mill. Everything just looks like last gen. Like this is a game that could easily have come out on, Xbox One and PS4. So then we get into some of this, so you get the vampire remains. Hold on, I think I missed the gun. Gold watch. Hold on, let's back up. Back up right there. So you can see here, I don't know if you can tell what the player is from the player that we're watching the eyes through, if you can see their level, but you can see they have level guns, which is fine. No big deal there, but you got damage numbers, rate of fire, reload rate, magazine size. And I'll be honest with you, that's kind of run of the mill stuff. There's nothing special there. Headshots with this weapon deal an additional 75%. Staggers enemies 50% faster. We've seen this gun shooting, and I'm sorry, never mind. We'll scratch that. We've seen other guns, not this gun. We've seen other guns shooting, and it doesn't stagger anybody. No one even notices it. No, and then picking up stuff. Then we go to this screen, and so, it's same stuff. Headshots, staggers, and that's interesting. So we just saw the same shit on the other weapon. Huh, interesting. And I'm sure the color typically means. I always think of Destiny because it's like the first FPS that had that use these sort of color. I can't even think of the word. Just like the type of weapon or gear was like common or uncommon, usually like gray or white or green, and then once you get to purple, that's typically like more of your legendary or your more higher end gear, and then like gold or yellow, or even red sometimes is like your exotic or your ultimate or whatever you want to call it. Now, there's been other games before Destiny. That's just the one that comes to mind. But it's so funny. It's just like, Destiny, so many developers owe a lot of thanks to Destiny because there's so many games that just ape everything that Destiny does on their menu stuff. It's so, I guess it is what it is because, Destiny is a game that's been going for 10 years and it's still going pretty strong. I still got a lot of love for it. I mean, I haven't been played in a long time, but still, there's just so many things that I see in other shooters, particularly that use these sort of the same old stuff. Now, again, I'm not saying that Destiny is the first and only. I'm sure there are other games. They're not coming to mind. I'm just, I'm jumping down my throat on that one. But yeah, see loadout, skills, missions. You see other guns here. You got your backpack. You can carry up to 40 weapons on that one. So you got your rating, quality type. Okay, yeah. So, I'll just kind of let this run in the background while I go through some of this stuff here. But yeah, as I've been listening to, I listened to some videos and I listened to some other breakdowns, and this is the first time I've ever done a breakdown like this. So it's kind of nice to actually take my time. Like, how that lighting just kills me. No effect whatsoever. Just swipes at it. But one of the things that I do want to talk about was IGN, and this is IGN's fault in Microsoft. Like, Microsoft didn't approve this, and like it's impossible that they could have let this go. Look, Microsoft is they approved that trash ass Halo TV show. They greenlit that, and they were excited to see what could be done and to bring Master Chief to life. First of all, it was a terrible idea. I just stop it with bringing games to life. I just think it's a bad idea. but that show was absolute garbage. That was one of the worst shows I've ever seen. Just comically bad, terrible. Just killed the lore, everything about it. It was so just fucking Hollywood, and annoyed the shit out of me. But Microsoft greenlit that. They were okay with it. So you can't tell me that Microsoft would never greenlight something like this. You know, they've greenlit a lot of terrible trailers. And again, it's not just Microsoft. Other companies do it too. But just there's a lot of focus and hate right now on IGN, and I am not trying to defend IGN. Like I said, you're not going to catch me defending media in general, because media is trash. But to just sort of sidestep it's like anything that's bad, it's never Phil's fault, never Uncle Phil. It's never anything like, it's not Microsoft. There's always someone else to blame. And this is no exception. And it's got a couple notes here. That's right. There's something on here. I totally forgot about this. So I saw this the first time, and I'm gonna go back to this right here. So right here, so you kill the enemy right here, right? Kill the rook. Boom, right here. This says achievement unlocked, grounded. All right. I'm not. I don't have an Xbox, so I'm not super familiar with like the achievements and what they look like. And so when I saw this, because I noticed it the first time, I was like, oh, okay, cool. An Xbox achievement, no big deal. Par for the course. PlayStation has trophies. Xbox has achievements. And then, other, like, I think EA has some. Ubisoft has them too. But there were people pointing this out, that this is actually Steam. This is a Steam achievement, which means that this game that we were watching, all this gameplay, was played on a PC, which to me is worrying, because as I've pointed out, there's multiple things about this that I don't really like in terms of just the visuals and, the AI and just the environment in general. But typically when you see gameplay or cutscenes on a high-end PC, or I'm not even going to say that's a high-end PC, let's just say PC, but that typically means that there's more horsepower, there's more memory, and so you're going to get the best out of it. You're going to see what the game could be at its absolute finest. And the reason why I think that's important is because we went through a phase, I'd probably say in the PS3 360 era is when it really started, but then it was the PS4 Xbox One era too, was kind of like the gamers were getting really tired of seeing trailers come out at E3 or some other thing, and they would be this kick-ass trailer. Everyone was so excited for it, and then you'd play the real game and it looked nothing like it. Watch Dogs, the first one was like one of the first ones, one of the ones that comes to memory. The game looked nothing like the trailer that they released, or the gameplay trailer. There's some other ones I just can't think of, but it's common. And to me, when I see that this was actually being played on a PC, if the people that because like I said, I've probably watched 3 or 4 of the people watch their videos and stuff, and like I saw this and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't think shit about it, but this is, I believe, a Steam. If that's true, and this was being played on a PC, that's bad. That doesn't look good. Why isn't it on Xbox? Why are they not showing the Xbox Series X kicking ass? And I think it's because they can't. They don't have the management and the abilities to flex that Series X. And I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for that game that's just going to be like, holy shit, got to get an X for this. God, I will pay the money. And I will. I would absolutely fork over the money. But I mean, Jesus, I can go buy a gaming laptop or a tower, and I can play this. I can just get Xbox Game Pass and play these games. I don't need an Xbox. But yeah, I thought that was a big telling moment for me, that this actually wasn't even on an Xbox, which just doesn't bode well. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for the reveal of this trailer. Terrible lighting. Let's see. What was the other things? That was kind of the end of it there. I think those are pretty much the end of my notes here. Again, these cuts, this looks bad. The lighting I've pointed out, but this gameplay, whoever's playing this game, they're not a gamer. You can't convince me that whoever's playing this is a seasoned gamer who has, years of experience. This looks like someone who just picked up a controller in the last year when they got hired at IGN, 9 months ago, and they're like, oh, I'm still figuring it out. So how does this work? What do I press? Where do I go? And again, just up here shooting somebody. He's confused, doesn't know what's going on. And just terrible lighting, graphically just doesn't look good. So yeah, I mean, I think I'll close out right there. Those are my thoughts. I think that Xbox, to me, this is par for the course. I know a lot of Xbox fans are going to hear that and be like, "Oh, you're just a pony," blah blah blah, whatever. I don't care. It still doesn't change the fact that this doesn't look good and it's getting trashed. You know, it graphically doesn't look good. It just wasn't a solid gameplay. You know, and there's another thing too that I do want to mention. You know, there's some people out there that I've been listening to, and I do listen to Xbox channels and I listen to Xbox creators, and you know, there's a lot of defending for this, and I can tell you that, you know, there's a couple out there who Xbox and Microsoft paid for creators to be flown out to Bethesda Studios to get their hands on this, to give their impressions, to go back on their channels and promote the game. And I can tell you that's exactly what they did. You know, they're cheering this on, saying just wait till you play it. And again, you know, this game comes out pretty soon, and maybe when it gets out, it's like, oh no, this is really good. This actually really is a good game. That's just that was just a shit slice of the game. It's possible, but I think it's unlikely. I really do. I think it's unlikely that this is going to be anything special. I think this is going to be another run-of-the-mill game, you know. And Microsoft, you know, Sony got trashed for selling $70 games. Like that was just abhorrent. Like, what were they thinking? Oh, $70 games. Oh, you know, how greedy. Sony's just so greedy. And then, you know, and then they come out with, they retooled their PlayStation Plus and they increased the price a little bit. And it was just, Sony looks bad look for them. They're no good. They're a greedy corporation. And then Microsoft quietly raises the price to Game Pass. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They didn't raise the price. They killed the $1 a month thing where people were getting by with that. And then they upped their game prices for this and Starfield to $70, and everyone's just like, no, it's totally worth it. You know, I'll pay $70. Yeah, it's just it's always one-sided, and I get it. You know, as someone who games on PlayStation, you know, I understand. Everyone has bias. Everyone has some subjectivity to their opinions, and that's because they're opinions. But I'm showing you what I'm seeing, and I'm talking about what I'm seeing. And, you know, you can take my thoughts on this for what it's worth, and to say, oh no, you don't know what you're talking about. But I just don't like this. It just drives me crazy. It just doesn't look good to me, you know. And this doesn't, to me, this, you know, a $70 game to me means quality, means that there's a high level of quality behind the game. And I don't think every game is worth $70. You know, and I said this before, the Last of Us Part 1, that remaster, remake, whatever the hell you want to call it, that's a $70 game, and that Sony got trashed for that. I didn't buy it because I was like, I'm not doing that. Sorry, you're not going to get my money again. Once that price comes down to like 30 or 40 bucks, yeah, I'll buy it for the third fucking time. But yeah, you know, I'm not saying that every game that's you know, that Sony does is a $70 gem and you must buy it. No, that's not. You know, be a customer, don't be a consumer, and, you know, make the decision for yourself. Is this worth $70? Are other games worth $70 or $60 or whatever? But I mean, to me, what I'm seeing, I don't see a $70 game. I don't see anything that I need to buy an Xbox for, and I'll be curious when this comes out, and, you know, we'll see what happens. You know, a lot of people are saying that you know, that the fix is in, that, you know, because there's already people right now who previewed this game. Not everyone. I'm not saying them all, but there are people within that group who got to go play the game, and, you know, got flown out and put up in hotels, and, you know, got to shake hands with, you know, the developers and stuff, and go over this game. And, you know, they come back to their channels and they're like, oh yeah, this isn't Back for Blood. This is so different. The gameplay is so tight, and the guns feel amazing, and, you know, I like this, I like that. And then this comes out and it's like, damn, tell me what you like about this, you know? Like, go over this trailer. Those people who are out here talking about how great it was when they played it, I want you to go over this trailer like this, and I want you to show me the things that are amazing about it. And let's just take out who's playing the game. Let's just take that out. Let's just talk about the AI. Let's talk about the graphics. Let's talk about the lighting. You know, let's talk about the guns and how they sound and how they appear to feel. Tell me that this is a $70 banger and it's just gonna fucking blow everyone away. Say that shit with a straight face. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you for taking the time. Like I said, this is the first time doing this sort of setup. I'm excited because this is the type of thing that I've always wanted to do. I know it looks generic and simple because this is like day 2 of me messing around with Streamlabs. We'll see if it works out. Hopefully the video comes out okay and I don't have to cut it again. But thank you for taking the time. I hope you have a great night, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.